Welcome to MTP on the 617 presented by the Core Worthy Network. I am Rich John Buchanan with my guy, the real BK, Bob Kelly. It's been a while since we've done a Red Sox show. Matter of fact, we were introduced to the 617 on, by doing a Red Sox show. So it's good to be, back doing a Red Sox show. We were kind of interrupted by a really great Celtics run, but now we're back to talk a little baseball. So, BK, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be back on the air for a less intense, less emotional roller coaster that is the Red Sox so far this season. It's still been a little up and down, kind of just like what we just went through. But tell you what, it's a hell of a lot less emotional when you got another hundred and however many games we got left now. So the tone's a little down from our last pod, but I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Well, no, listen, I definitely owe the fans here an apology because, I mean, if you listen to that first show we did, me and Mike was on and we had made a prediction like, oh, Ray, what do you think the Red Sox will do come out the gate? I'm like, oh, they're going to go 8-2. And Mike's like, you don't believe that. I'm like, I don't have to believe that. But, and they damn sure did come out to 8-2.
No, they
They
did
did
not.
not. We're almost 70 games into the season. I think game 69 is tonight as we record this on a Tuesday night. So man, yeah, nice. So I'm like, they've come a long way since, my A&2 prediction. They're now looking like the team I thought they would be, at the beginning of the season. So, let's start with there. So, they're now currently 37-31. So the first time all season they've been 6 games over 500. So just, what do you attribute to their success, so far, since the beginning of May?
Well, I mean, the bats woke up. That's the main piece of this is right now, baseball is at an all-time low for batting average. Yet the Red Sox still have 3 guys that are hitting not just like 300, they're hitting like 320, 330. You know what I mean? Guys that are just raking the ball right now. And that takes a lot of pressure off, let's be honest, a subpar bullpen. You have guys in there that have no business pitching on 1-run games in the 7th and 8th inning, and it really helps when they're not doing so. It helps when it's a 4-5 run lead instead of 2-1 or 3-1. You know what I mean? It's a big difference there. So I just feel like the offense waking up just kind of alleviated all this pressure on a subpar bullpen, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, but speak to that, right? Because obviously the Red Sox forever have been known, really regardless of whatever, have been known for great offense, right? Obviously, you're playing in Fenway Park for half of your game, so you have the green monster to your advantage. You have right field. You have the triangle out in center field. So, but everyone essentially was having a bad start with the exception of a few, and we'll get into that shortly. But just what do you think was going on like in those first maybe 20 to 30 games? Like what was happening there? Because it's like it was historically bad. So
Yeah.
this is really well. What did like? What do you think? What do you think happened there?
I think it did have a lot. I know a lot of some people call them excuses. The extended, the short spring training, but everyone had to do that. But I feel like, with the run they went on last year and everything like that, and then honestly, the only thing I can come up with is the spring training, man, because they were too talented to be hitting the way that they were. Maybe the contracts got in Devers and Xander's head a little bit, and they had to just kind of be woken up and be like, hey, why don't you guys just go hit the fucking ball like you can? Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can speak to is the spring training because I know that affected Trevor Story. That is without a doubt a fact. He barely got any at bats in the spring, and then coming from warm up live BP to live in game action, there's a big difference when you're taking live MLB pitches. Those things are nasty, man. So you got to be ready for those. But that's the only thing I can come up with.
No, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I just think, I was searching. I'm like, man, I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on. Like I said, when you saw the team on paper and, getting Story, we were all excited when we found out, we got Story. And then, obviously, it's fitting that you and I are on the show talking about Story because, when there was a list that came out a few years ago about who was the best, shortstop or whatever in the game. And, we were all offended that Santa wasn't number one. But he's been every bit of he's been awesome, in the last month and a half. But before we even get to the hitting side, I want to speak on the pitching because to me that's where the turnaround has been the biggest. So to me it starts, it doesn't end with him, but it starts with Nick Pivetta. him being 7-1 in his last 8 starts. You have, Eovaldi, who you looking for him to come back. Michael Wacha, who I once again I owe Michael. This is going to be Craig. If you when you do this episode, you can just say this is a raised apology to Boston, because I was on Michael Wacha. I did not think he was going to produce. I was like, I thought that he was not the guy.
He was Waka Waka.
Yeah, he was walking. Oh my god! I did not think he was going to be really effective at all. So for him to be 5-1, with a 2.28 run average, like, to me is phenomenal. So we'll start with those two right now, but just speak to the job those guys have done to really keep the pitching staff afloat.
Yeah, man, Pivetta's been nails, absolute nails. He's the stopper on this team. He's the guy when we need this season for him to go out and have a big game. He does, and it's so nice to have that piece on a rotation. You know what I mean? Like, because we lacked that for a few years since Sale's been out. We didn't really have that last year. And Pivetta kind of stepped up and was that guy near the end. You remember all those big performances he had. Wasn't one of them out of the pen too? He came out of the pen and just absolutely lit it, bro.
Yeah.
He was so
He went 2018 to Boldy. Like, it was ridiculous.
He was unreal. So yeah, he's really just been our big game guy, And then if we get Eovaldi back pitching to the level that he can, because he's been giving up a lot of bombs this year, lots of bombs. He's still pitching good, a lot of home runs. It reminds me of that Beckett year. Remember when Beckett was leading the league in home runs given up? He was still like 18-6 with like a mid to high ERA, but it's just every game you feel like he's good for a 2 to 3 run homer. Wacha, though, man, he's the surprise, right? Right now he's 5-1 with a 2.28 ERA. That's absurd. That is not a stat line I thought I was going to see from Michael. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
A sub-3 ERA. You don't see that as much anymore, especially from a starter. You know what I mean? Like, that's top. That's what it's got to be top 5 in the league right now, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, close to it. I don't have all the. I would need to go back to stat news to see who was leading, but yeah, I mean, he has been. Like I said, those two guys have been, phenomenal. Like I said, Eovaldi coming back, yeah, he has to come back and be that guy. And I said it on the first show that we did on the 617. I said, someone has to have a Rick Porcello 2016 type season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it looks like Pivetta's turning into. Like, it was kind of shaky early on, but like I said, for him to be 7-1 his last 8, like, the dude, like you said, he's become the stopper. And
the other night was such a ballsy start too, where he went 7 and he didn't have his best stuff either. That was the thing, is like, that's how a pitcher has kind of evolved into like a guy that's like, just, he knows how to go out there and get those outs. You know what I mean? Because when he doesn't have the stuff, he's still nails, still locked down.
Right. I mean, he's still paying the corner 95. He's had that 12-6 curveball is just it's just a thing of beauty.
It's filthy.
I mean, if I have to bang this drum solo, I will. I'm sure you'll be with me, but and I've tweeted about this on our page. I am probably the head of the Nick Pivetta fan club on the show. Like, the way that he played from last year to now, and the fact that we literally got him for Brandon Workman, like, thank you, thank you, Philadelphia, like, because it's amazing to me. And I'm sure Philly fans look at him like, well, damn, like, what was this? But hey, we are very grateful that you basically gave us him for,
a terrible pitcher. I hated Brandon Workman, dude.
Matt Barnes should be next to go, but we'll speak about that when we talk about the trade deadline. Then again, we're probably going to take him, but we'll get there. So, obviously, the guy that we're waiting on to come back is Chris Sale. So, should we expect anything from him coming back? Next month or whatever he chooses to come back in the rotation.
No, I don't think you can bank on it, right? I mean, if he comes back, great. But I feel like if you're the Sox, you can't see it as something that you can really rely on, because, he's taken what now? A year and a half off from pitching. So, like, even if he does come back, you don't know the Chris Sale you're going to get. You don't know if it's the dominant Chris Sale, if he's going to come out of the pen, if he's going to be a starter. We don't know. So I feel like if you're the Sox, you got to prepare for him not giving you much. If he does, the sky's the limit with this team, man. If you can insert a Dominic Chris Sale either into the rotation or hell, even into the back ends of that bullpen, bro, that's what we're missing at this point. You know what I mean? We're missing one more big arm on both ends of the rotation, pen and starting, and the team is one of the better teams in baseball at this point. I mean, maybe not as good as the Yankees because they haven't started this year, but
Yeah. Oh my God.
yeah, they'd be right in that conversation though, for sure,
You
right?
know, they're definitely about. You know, I mean, they've blown 4 or 5 games either. Like they easily would have been.
At least, I saw a stat that
Crazy.
said who was tweeting? I think it was Bullpen was tweeting that if the Red Sox had a closer, there was 13 games so far that they've blown save in 13 games, so they'd be like right at the top of the league.
Right. It's easily. And that's where it's like it's so frustrating because like you're right there. But this actually just popped into my head. You know, this not something I thought about until now. But what if? Because to me, I think Sales days as a top end starter are gone. I mean, everyone knows if you talk to me off air, I thought that Sale was the best pitcher in the American League of not baseball for a long time. Obviously, that's no longer the case. Um, but I do think in a short burst, he can give you something special. What if he became what John Smoltz became?
I love it. Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, that's, obviously John Smoltz was part of the big three, Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox, they turn him into a reliever and he becomes one of the best closers of our generation, if not all time. So, I mean, to me, you just ask Chris to rev it up for 1 or 2 innings. He's still throwing 97 when he's on. That slider is it's a joke
Gonna
how
say that
how much that slider moves.
he's got the
So he's got those 1 or 2 pitches that will get you, there. Or because he was a starter, if you need him to go to the last 3, the 7th, 8th, 9th,
yeah.
because Robles is fucking trash. South let this
my
game over there in
God.
Japan. So yeah, like don't get me started, but like, bro, yeah. So those middle guys can't get there. Or if Schreiber, it was been phenomenal. We'll talk to him.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
But like if those middle guys aren't there or they don't have it, yeah, you can go to him the last 3 and essentially shut things down. Kind of like when Yankees used to put Mariano Rivera in there the last 2, and you're like, okay, game's over after the 7th because they were going to John Wetland. Well, that was the name drop there. And then next thing you know, it was Rivera, and it was over.
Casual John Wetland drop.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was over.
No,
It
it's
was over
fine.
back then. So,
Yeah.
that was crazy. So, so I mean, yeah, I don't know, but who could we bring in back? I mean, obviously we talked about Sale, coming back. Cutter Crawford's been really good. Josh Mikowski, just win, baby. That's what I'm gonna call him until he starts to fade out. But just win. If there's someone on the market, because clearly they're buyers at this moment. They're not sellers. They're buyers at this moment. But
Oh yeah.
Who is out there? Do you think they could bring in that that could help this team, whether it be as a starter or in the bullpen?
Honestly, who's even on the block right now? You got someone in mind? Because I don't. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, okay, I'll put it like this, right? Because obviously they expanded the playoff form, right? So it has to be someone that we don't expect, right? So I don't have a name. Well, actually, I'll put the guy out there. And I don't know his number on the top of my head. This is really I'm saying this because it's a name. I would love to have Thor, aka Noah
Syndergaard?
yeah, from the Angels. I know that he signed a crazy deal for 1 year, but I just feel like get him here. I feel like he doesn't have to be the guy, but I feel like he's someone that can help. There's a guy that we just faced in Oakland. I think it's Trevina, something like that. But he's a bullpen guy. And I mean, even though we took the series from Oakland, he was throwing 96, 97, nice change, nice little sinker. So I was like, well, these teams that are underperforming are going to be unloading because they're not in it. And this is not in years past when one of these teams that were terrible in June or July, then they catch fire and maybe make the playoffs. teams by now know who they are. And if you're not one of those teams that are going to at least get into the wild card, I think there's 3 wild cards this year. Then you start to unload. So that's Cincinnati, that's Kansas City, that's Oakland, that's the LA Angels. So the Chicago Cubs, like there's teams that are just not, they're underperforming. So any of those teams that have talent that they can unload or want to unload, High and Blue should be on the phone. So yeah.
Here's a couple names for you. I'm just kind of casually going through as you're talking. Michael Pineda from the Twins, old former Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
He's struggling. Twins are struggling. I know he's not having the best season ever, and he's the infamous pine tar guy. But the dude can pitch, and he can pitch in a big situation. You know what I mean? He's a good guy who's seen this atmosphere of the rivalry before, seen the atmosphere of what it is to be in a big market. So I think he could be a good guy. Another one, Johnny Cueto. There's two big names that are out there that could really help the rotation. Even just be innings eater. They don't need to be that dominant guy. We just need another solid arm, because like I said, you can't rely on Sale for those innings. You know what I mean? The idea can't be, wasn't that what it was last year? If Sale comes back, that's the addition at the trade deadline. It's like, no, it was for sure, but you can't rely on that again. You know what I mean? Because we can't be in that same situation and then hit Tampa Bay and we run out of arms again. Or actually the batch just kind of went silent. But that doesn't prove my point at all. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it does. I mean, either way, you can't expect him to go 7 innings,
right,
1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, and that's not happening. If it does, it becomes great. If it does, it's not something where it's like, oh, it's expected. Capable, of course he is, but it's not. Let's say you're expecting. Nate has been that in the playoffs. Pivetta's been that, and then, we'll see what Wacha does.
Frankie Montes, that's the guy that you were talking about, right?
No, it's someone from Oakland. It's like Trevino. I'm maybe saying it wrong. I got it. Lou Maloney is the one that brought it up, but Lou Maloney, Kevin Millard might have said it on the broadcast. But those guys, once again, the guys throwing 95, 96. And you just need those live arms. Once again, the ball. I mean, listen, Schreiber's been phenomenal. Tanner Houck has the capability.
Yeah,
but the like I said, the problem is, obviously until he decides to get that to get the shot, then obviously he's not going to be available some games, so that could affect how they strategize going forward. So I just think that eventually you need to get insurance for that, because once again, if it's once again his choice, or if he's not choosing to do that, which is all him. Like I said, it's not something that we have to worry about as fans. You got to move on and find someone that's going to be here all the time. Because Toronto's not going anywhere. They're not like Vlad, Gurr, Jr. and them boys. It's something serious. I know. I think they lost the pitcher for the year. I think they lost Ryu for the year in Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a big blow, to their rotation. But yeah, I just think bullpen arms are always at a premium, and I just think that you cannot have enough.
Listen, if I see, God forbid, Hansel Robles or Sawamura coming out in late October in the 8th inning of a 1-run ball game, I'm turning the fucking TV off. I'll tell you that, because I can't do that again for a second kid. Listen, I know Robles has his moments, but he's either on point or he's the worst pitcher I've ever seen.
What happened though?
Balls, bro. I don't know.
Like the last month and a half last year, this dude was like he was Billy Wagner. He was another casual name drop there. He was all these guys. He was a problem.
Right.
Like what happened from that guy that was in high pressure situation time and time again, and now if it's a 5-2 lead in the 7th, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be 6-5 by the time he's going to give a game. That's wild to me.
He's always been, I always talk shit about Robles since the moment he came in, and he always proved me wrong, because he was a heart attack guy. You know what I mean? I hate those heart attack pitchers, and that's what he is. where he'll get two guys on and then get a double play, or he'll get guys on second and third and then strike out the next two. And it's just, I feel like sometimes it's not something that's sustainable. And I feel like Robles is just one of those dudes who he gets people on base and he either gets out of it or he doesn't. And he's not getting out of it anymore. You know what I mean? He's just not. Sawamura, he was
Take the time.
he
Okay.
he doesn't
Here for you.
he doesn't instill a great deal of confidence when he's on the mound. I don't know what it is about him, because he can be good, man. It's just like his body language and the way he goes about things to me just looks like he's always like, oh fuck. You know, it doesn't it like I feel like he's always like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of this one. This is like I don't know. I want my when my middle relievers go in, I want him to be like, I got this shit. This shit's on lock. And that's not how I feel like he is when he gets out there.
Same thing with him last year too. Like,
yeah,
there was moments last year when I was like, and I think I said it on the show. I said, yo, he has the stuff to be the closer. It's like where's the
he doesn't have the
he got way better stuff than Koji. That's what's crazy. His stuff is way better than Koji.
Put some respect on Koji's changeup, bro.
No, but I mean, but come on, a 95, 96 fast, and then you go to a split like that. That's ridiculous. Like, so yes, Koji would, that ball would drop off as soon as it gets to your knees. It just drops. You're like, oh my god,
that shit
what's
was wild.
But he was also throwing 88. He was throwing, you know what I'm saying? He's throwing 88 miles per hour. He knew that he just knew, like Greg Maddux, I know how to pick my spots.
Yeah.
That's what made him special.
He was a master.
Year. You know what I'm saying? So him and was Tajima on that team too? Tajima? Am I saying that wrong?
Yeah, Okajima.
Okajima,
bro.
Yeah, Okajima.
Mister, I don't look at home plate when I throw
the ball. Exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So they were great. So I don't know. I'm like, Sawamura, man, I'm like, look, man, listen, you have the stuff to be the eighth inning guy. At least.
He doesn't have the mentality.
Yeah, it's wild to me, and I know this, and for those that may listen to this, or that will listen to this, today, tomorrow, whenever it comes out, this is why I thought about them bringing back Craig Kimbrell, and I know, he was also a heart attack guy, but 46 saves is not easy to come by. And if I could take 46 saves, 46 saves. I'm sorry.
Oh, I agree. Listen, heart attack.
Come on.
Heart attack is okay when you top out at 102. All right. When you're topping out at 102, you could be a heart attack guy. Because you know what? More often than not, you probably will blow away those two guys after you get those guys on. Hansel Robles does not throw 102 miles an hour. Just for the record.
No, not at all. Robles, none of those guys. Like I said, Schreiber's been awesome. Like I think, the more of him, the better. But honestly, you need another guy in the high leverage situation. Matt Strom was okay last couple. He's been okay this year, but his ERA is still way too high for my liking. So I think, if you can get another left-handed arm in the bullpen or right-handed and just go from there. But got to figure out the pitching, because this team is on the verge of something special. Once again, you were 2 games away from the World Series last year. They have the talent there. They get healthy. So Kike coming back. I figure who else is out right now? Obviously, Evaldi's coming back. So if they could get some of those core back in the scene, and they actually spend at whether it's the offseason or actually look to get some guys during the trade deadline, you got to jump on that shit now. You can't wait until July 31st, when things may be drastically different. So just attack now, figure that shit out. And like I said, we'll be on our way. So obviously, like I said, you alluded to it at the beginning of the show. You talked about the hitting really taking off. So Devers, Bogaerts, and JD are all hitting over 300. So and then obviously Story is leading the team. And RBIs with now 48 now on the season. Could get a 3-run home run tonight as we record. So, but just speak to what those guys have done so far. And then even we talked about pitching, but is there any type of hitters that we think we can add that may help us in the field as well too?
So, I mean, obviously, man, Devers has been just on fire since what, 2-3 weeks into the season. He was the only one that was hitting at the beginning. He's been unreal. It feels like he hits an absolute moonshot every single night. Like there was a post on Twitter the other night. Forget who put it up. I think
baseball.
No, it was just someone saying like, "Here comes the best hitter in baseball." And they were trying to be like a homer, and they were just joking around. But I'm like, bro, like that might actually be a thing at the moment. Like Rafael Devers might actually be the best hitter in baseball right now. He has 16 homers on the year. He's just, it just seems like anytime 330, 16 homers, 43 RBIs. And we are what? 40, like 60 games in ish.
Yeah. Almost 70 games. Yep.
Unreal, bro. He's been unreal. JD too. We've talked about it. That dude is just the definition of a professional hitter. When he's on, he's impossible to get out. And he's put on a clinic this year. I just really hope, not to bring it down because we're talking about those offense, but a few of these guys are going to be gone soon. So I just hope they really do go all in on this team because I don't know how much longer they're going to be together. So like to have these three hitters in the same lineup is so special. You know what I mean? Like no one in baseball has this. Get us some pitchers. No one has this, man.
No, I know. I'm with you. Maybe said that team up by 95. I don't know. We'll see. But
facts. That's
fair.
Fair.
Yeah. But do they do something drastic and actually move Xander at the deadline? Do you think that happens?
No. I didn't even honestly, bro.
I don't
brain until you said that.
I don't put it past this team. Once again, we didn't think Theo was gonna move no more in 04.
And they brought
and it happened.
Yeah, and the thing, so I was thinking about this earlier today, actually, how much depth the Red Sox have ensured themselves with at the middle infield spots. You know what I mean? Because yes, we have Xander who's come up through the system, all this stuff. But literally, if you look through our team organizational depth chart, like from MLB all the way down, man, you have, we have Xander, obviously. Then you have Jeter Downs, who just got called up. Then you have Trevor Story, who's a former shortstop. You have Marcelo Meyer, who's a shortstop. It's just right down the list, man. All our top prospects are shortstop. So, I didn't connect that piece, but I guess. I mean, like why not? Is his value going to be any higher than it is right now because he's raking the ball? So I think it'd be crazy. I think you'd be nuts. You'd be nuts to do it right now. But like you said,
it's like, but if you don't get something done in the off season, he walks like that. Like, what I'm saying? At least, and looking back at it now, I mean, obviously, the Dodgers won the World Series the moment Mookie got there, but Verdugo has been really good for us.
No,
but I mean, yeah, I know, but I mean, it's not like Verdugo's been a scrub. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been decent. Excuse me. Obviously, we're gonna see what Jeter Downs is. Obviously, he was supposed to be the centerpiece around the deal. So, I don't know. I mean, he's clearly up here because he was. Oh, I wonder why he's up here. He's clearly up here to see if he has any value, and then ship his ass out of town too.
Absolutely, that's why he's here.
my thing is, where's Cassis? Like, and then like Dahlbeck is not. I mean, he's had a nice little month or so, but Bobby Dahlbeck is not the guy that I thought. I'm still mad they traded Michael Chavis, man. That's a whole nother topic of the day. But just to me, Cases if he's that guy at first base, what are we waiting on?
Yeah. I agree. I mean, Dahlbeck's been on a hot streak lately. I trolled all of Red Sox Nation the other day once he was on that hot streak on Twitter. That was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, agreed. You know what I mean? Dahlbeck. You know what Dahlbeck is? He's who we just talked about before we got on the show. He's Brian Dahlbeck, man. He's a feast or famine guy. He's either going to be raking the ball or he's going to give you literally nothing.
Well, at least Bobby hits bonds.
That's true. Bobby does have bombs. Bobby
It's not gonna be doubles on that.
He has
It's
bombs too, just absolute bombs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? Cassis is obviously the future. I hear he's raking in AAA from all the Twitter people I follow and stuff like that.
Yeah, bring him up.
So I don't know.
Bring him up.
I don't know. I'm thinking that that's why I don't think Xander. They're gonna move Xander. They're not sellers at this point, because unless they get blown away by a deal, because I think they know, man, that the chemistry in this group and like that core, you know what I mean, like that of those guys that were here last year before, it has the chemistry to get it done, you know, and I don't think they make a move to take anyone from that piece out. You bring additions.
But if you get a top of the line guy, and I'm talking about pitcher. Like, I'm not trading for another. I'm not. This is no offense to who I'm about to say. You're not bringing in an Orlando Cabrera, and I know Orlando Cabrera was really good defensively. This is not the case. And I've just now accepted that Xander was better than Nomar. I was a Nomar. I was a Nomar guy. My batting stance was just like Nomar. I had multiple number 5 Nomar shirts. Like he was everything to me as a kid.
Doing the batting gloves, bro.
Batting all that. I just now accepted that Xander. Yeah, he is. You know, and that hurts me to say it, but excuse me. That's just what it is. So it's okay. It's all right. You know, we've been blessed to see.
Remember when he hit 372? 372.
Ridiculous.
Unreal.
Yeah, him and Tall Helton that year, crazy. But yeah, that's yeah, insane. But yeah, so it's just like, come on. Sorry, you brought it up. I got it to go back. They ordered the three homers against Tampa Bay. With the 2 grand slams. There's a lot of moments. No more. I miss you, man. But
no more.
No more. You know, so no, but yeah. So I just think if you're bringing in a top of the team, you know, I mean, hey, if you want to trade it for Tatis, cool. You know, I'm not mad at that at all. Or I mean, listen, this is a pipe dream, all capital letters. I mean, I would love. I mean, I said it last year when Rafi was kind of struggling. I would have said, I said, we get him for Vlad Guerrero Jr. I'd do it
all day.
I do. I mean, that was the last year. Now it's not the case.
Never again. Because you know they both have taken way off. But you know that oh my God, you want to talk about a lineup. But you can put one at first. You can put one on the third, and you just go from there. But that's wishful thinking. But yeah, I don't know, man. I hope they do keep everyone together. But like I said, they got to sign Devers. That's something, you know, we talked about when we met earlier. Like, can they please? Are we doing it? We're really.
Devers, please.
All I keep thinking is like, are we really doing this shit again? Are we really gonna sit here and let another one of the best hitters I've ever seen in a Red Sox uniform fucking walk? Is this really what's gonna happen? And I feel it in my bones that at least one of those two is gone. Xander or Devers, one of them is 100% gone. And I think it's going to end up being Xander, but would you put it beyond him?
It has to be Xander.
Would you put it beyond him for it to be both, though? I wouldn't.
If it's both, like, listen.
I'm out.
I'm out. Like, I'm out. I'm sorry. I would not do another Red Sox show on this number next year. Like that's not fucking happening. I'm sorry. Unless they win the World Series. What? What up? Like are you kidding? Like no way. You cannot. That left side of the infield, really, the 3/4 of the infield. You got Story, Bogaerts, Devers. Are you kidding me? And like I said, we have guys that Story completely. Yeah, we're gonna get to him in a second. But like what? Like what are we? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah,
John. I'm about to say John Mayer. Jeez. Well, yeah, it is a heartbreak warfare. I got heartbreak warfare.
Hey, nice.
I do got heartbreak warfare.
Nice.
You know, and that's what I got right now. But John Henry, what is going on?
Yeah, I just say this like, what is
music lyrics?
What is the goal? You know what I mean? That's what I keep thinking is like, listen,
just to stay relevant. Apparently,
right, but like
relevant,
bro. You have developed and brought up maybe the best shortstop in baseball. He's top 3. You know what I mean? The way he's performing right now, easy.
Easily.
I get the upside with Jeter Downs, and I get the upside with Marcelo Meyer and all this shit. But you already got it. It's there in front of you, man. It's like the same argument I have with the Tatum shit. Like you're not gonna get any better. When you have ballers, you have dudes who can step up and just kill it every single night. Like you know what you're getting from them. You know what I mean? It just you can't replace that. You can't take something that had potential and has lived up to it and replace it with more potential. Like
not for the minors,
right, bro. It's like, what are you doing here, guys?
What the fuck is he doing? He's cool. You want to bring Tatis?
Right. That's a whole different story.
Cool. You want to bring Cronenworth from San Diego? Cool. I'm with you. Hell, even the guy we're playing tonight. If you told me we could get Javi Baez, cool. I'm with that.
Tim Anderson. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. That's different, but that's not the case. Actually, you know what? Tim Anderson would be that would actually be a pretty good trade. But his flair, his energy,
swag, bro. Yeah, he's got that swag.
Great for the city. But at the same time, listen, Xander, I do love you. I wanted to be clear. I want to be clear. Xander, I love you. Xander, Bobby loves you.
Oh yeah.
We want to say, but if we're going to lose you, it needs to be, like I said, it needs to be for someone of your caliber. And like I said, I think Tim Anderson is awesome. I mean, hell, even what about a guy that we traded last year that's doing pretty well down in Kansas City? You know, Benintendi looks pretty good down there. You think they would bring him back here? They brought back Jackie Bradley.
I would love it, man. 2/3 of that outfield from 18 back in town. I wouldn't hate that. He is killing it. He's definitely killing it over there in Kansas City. Is he on the? Is that a name that's been out there?
I just feel like teams are gonna look at him because once again, Kansas City is not performing well.
Yeah, they're not good.
And they did, whatever team needs a left-handed bat that can produce, they're going to do so, or they're at least going to call and ask about him. So, once again, that's a seamless transition to bring him back here. Someone that you know that can be lead off, and who knows, maybe you do bring him back. Let's get you bring him back. And then maybe you put Kike back at second base and it stores your shortstop.
If that's
the case, because obviously that's what Kike, he's a utility guy, but obviously Kike's he's an awesome in center field. But it's like, bro, now you bring Mary Benintendi, and then you just platoon, Franchi, around. Who I'm glad he's also come around too, because shout out to Steve Perot, we just showed him last year. And we all written off French Cordero, basically called him the worst Red Sox player of all time.
We did. We said he was worse than Willie Mo Pena. So
that puts you in rarefied air for the wrong reason. So it's a quote Brad Stevens today, but that's another show. But yeah, so it's wild. It's wild. But like I said, they definitely still need another bat or two, which is wild to say, but they do. I just think that, you can't have enough offense. I know they're third in hitting. They're third, but they only have 64 home runs on the season. So extremely low for a Red Sox team.
I have a question for you about Kike.
Yep.
So when it comes to Kike, when he comes back, did Duran steal any of his role? I feel like he had to, right? I mean, listen, I love Kike. I love what he does in the clutch, what he did for us last year in the postseason. Love it. Duran's a different guy, man. He gives you so much more at the top of that lineup with his speed, with his power. There's so much more to work around with your leadoff hitter. When your leadoff hitter is stealing second base almost every goddamn time he's getting on first. You know what I mean? So I like the look of the lineup better, if I'm being perfectly honest, with Duran at the top of that lineup than I do with Kike. And it just feels like two different lineups to me. You know what I mean? Because when you have a guy in scoring position, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But when you have a guy in scoring position for Devers and Bogaerts almost every single time, or if he gets on, every time they get up, man, it's lights out. You know what I mean? That's 130 RBIs right there for Devers. Just wait. And Kike's awesome. but he doesn't have that kind of speed. You know what I mean? He's fast, not that fast.
Right, but I mean, but and I tend to agree with you. I wrote off Durant last year too. You know, Craig was like, you know, be patient. It's good. But I'm like, yeah. But no, so Craig, yes, I'll give you your flowers. Yes, you were right, brother. You know, he like once again the power hasn't been shown, but like I said, the speed has been there. Excuse me, and the
It'll
defense.
come. Power always comes
Yeah,
last for young guys.
yeah,
You know,
the defense has been there, so that's awesome. I remember that trip we had, I think last week. Like the dude had to get there about like 5 seconds. Like it was ridiculous. Like he got around first, and it was like, okay, this is automatic in Triple A. You didn't think it was, oh, he might stop for 2. Like as soon as he got to round first, it was like, oh, okay, he's made up his mind. Then he's going to 3, and that's what this new era of baseball is about. Can you be a smart base runner? Even so, if you're not the fastest, he happens to be a smart base runner, and he's the fastest guy. So like that to me that's a deadly combination. But I mean, listen, Kike was hitting leadoff home runs, so he didn't have to worry about who was cousin. He was getting himself on and getting himself around the bases, or he was just flat out bringing people home. I mean, my God, 2-run home runs, grand slams, bringing this back within 1. Like he was doing everything for the one spot. So maybe you know you bring it back to 2003. You remember that team when your batting champion was hitting 9th. Bill Miller was hitting 9th on that team. Maybe, I mean, Kiki's never going to be the batting champion, but maybe you put him at 9, or you put him at the 8th spot. And
I like him at 9. 9 would be nice.
Yeah, 8. You know, Jackie at 8, Kiki at 9, and then you know Durant at 1. But once again, and I maybe use Durant's trade bait too. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. To me,
I think would you use Kike as trade bait before Durant?
I mean, it depends on how Corey feels about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel
yeah. I guess that's that core question again. You know?
Yeah, because you know, I mean, well, I know that him and Kike are super close. So, excuse me, I don't know if that happens, but I think that you know you have to at least consider it. But I mean, listen, ride the wave while it's there. You know, Durant's been awesome. Let him keep rocking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about Cutter Crawford, we talked about Josh Winkowski. Like guys they've been calling up have been contributing. So I'm with it. Hopefully they let Jeter Downs get some burn before, you know, July 31st. I know I said obviously Kiki's coming back from his injury, but they need to get, you know, infuse that into see what you have in these guys, or let them get hot for a 2-week span. Teams are calling like crazy, like, hey, you know, we need, you know, what would it take to get so and so? Like, you know, can we put a package around Jeter Downs? Can we put a thing around Cap? Like whoever, make it happen. But like I said, there's a few guys I wouldn't mind seeing leave. And like I said, Bobby Dabback's on the top of that list, regardless of what he's done recently. If they said tomorrow he was gone, I wouldn't miss him. But like I said, I'm not going to be surprised if, you know, Devers. I'm with Xander is gone. I'm preparing myself mentally for that. Once again, July 31st, 2004, as a 13-year-old kid, I was not prepared to see Peter Gammons, Carl Ravage, and them come across my screen during the trade deadline special.
That's nostalgia. That's nostalgia right there.
Nostalgia right there.
Nostalgia, bro.
Shout out Harold Reynolds, Joe Moore, all them, you know, shout out to them, right? I was not prepared to see dun-dun-dun. The Red Sox are traded Nomar Garciaparra in a 4-way trade with Doug Mankiewicz and you know, Orlando Cabrera coming back to Boston. I was sick. Pissed. I was sick. I honestly, I might have cried. I think about it, I might have cried. And if you've watched this show, you know, the 6 of us are a bunch of criers for sure. That's super emotional. And I'm probably at the top of the list. So it's cool. You know, I mean, my emotions are a little more in check now, so it might be more F-bombs.
Because it's game 72 and not
yeah,
game
you know,
5 of the playoffs.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Two different ratios. Yeah, two different ratios.
Yeah, two different guys, right? But you know, but I want to put it on record like that. I expect Zen to be gone. But I'm not gonna say that like I'd be happy if we get that notification saying that he's been dealt, unless it's for one, a talent that's worthy of getting traded back for him. Also, we get a top of the line starter that propels us into the postseason, and
But
eventually gets us to the World Series.
like Martin Perez.
And wait, that's the fact that
he's balling out this year.
Fucking ridiculous.
It's wild.
It's like, bro, like I'm like, oh, so all this marketing we did about Perez Day, you being that guy, yo, it's Perez Day here, and now he's back in Texas, fucking killing it, like he's just like
meatballs,
Like,
Meatball City in Boston, Meatball City.
Yeah.
Bro.
What a joke! What a joke! But then again, I've been down at Globe Life Field. Is a bigger ballpark, so to someone who pitches a contact like him, that's probably why he's doing damage down there. But then again, there's not pressure playing in Texas. Not for that team, anyways. Some other teams, sure, but the damn sure ain't the Texas Rangers, and ain't no pressure for them.
Some things are bigger than Texas. The Texas Rangers aren't.
Rangers are not.
The Rangers are not one of them.
Walking Texas Ranger was bigger than the Texas Rangers.
We're full of them tonight, bro.
Oh, full of them. That was a great show. That was a great show. Well, before we get out of here, I want to get into this last thing. So, starting July 4th, the Red Sox have 17 games against the AL East. So, they played everyone except Baltimore in that stretch. Within, and then the All-Star break is in between, but those 17 games they face them. What has to happen in that 17 game stretch for them to still be at least relevant by the time we get to August 1st?
Well, to me, the division race is over. Unless we see an absolute swoon by the Yankees, it's going to be very, very hard to catch that team because they hit, they pitch, they fucking do everything. That team is unreal. They got to stay afloat, right? I mean, listen, this run's been awesome, but I think it's like 16-4 in their last 20, something like that.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, above 500. Awesome. Love it all. But it definitely was against a little bit of inferior competition. Like, this was the time to catch up. You had to. There was no doubt. We just faced Seattle. We faced Oakland. Faced the Angels during their losing streak. Like, the Tigers. Like, there's a lot of teams that we should be beating up on that we've been playing. And we did. Give them all the credit. These are the games that are going to show who this team really is. You know what I mean? Like, if the bullpen's shutting it down against the Mariners and the Tigers, awesome. But let me see our guy. I can never pronounce his name. Schreiber, or what was his name?
Yeah,
Schreiber. Is that hey Schreiber?
Schreiber.
Yeah.
Let's some motto. Get the job done.
Right. Let's see you do that when you got Josh Donaldson and Vlad Guerrero and Bo Bichette and and Aaron Judge and Carlo. Let's see them get it done then, and then we'll evaluate the real strength of that bullpen. I feel like the hitting is gonna happen. We're gonna hit off these guys. We can hit, man. We can. Period. It's just a matter of if the bullpen can stop, and even the starting pitchers at that Pivetta, all those guys, if they can shut down some of the best offenses in baseball, some of the best lineups I've literally ever seen. So it's going to be a tough month for sure, but just stay afloat, guys. Stay in the race. Let's put it look competent. Look like you belong with these dudes, and don't go into an inning with 4-0 lead and all of a sudden it's 9-4 because your bullpen just give up 4 home runs in a fucking inning. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
So put it up, because I said 17 games. So put a number on it. You need to win out the 17. So
I would say successful, just 10-7.
Okay.
Ish. Average. If you can go 500, that's staying afloat. 10-7 to me would be you were successful in that stretch. Like, you did your job.
Yeah, we're on the same page. I said 11-6 before game. So I was like, yeah, 11-6 in that stretch to me would be phenomenal. Once again, if the bats are there, they are on par with anybody in baseball. Not just the AL East, but in baseball. But this is a scenario where I know we joke about another East division in a different sport. This Eastern division in baseball is by far the best division in baseball. It ain't even close.
Not even close.
It's not even close. So, when you have 3 or 4 teams that may make the playoffs, excuse me, like it is insane. So, And you basically have to go on a run just to leapfrog another team. Like the fact that we just are getting by Tampa Bay now,
Insane.
it's wild. It's wild. But it's like, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. And like I said, I think we can, to me, and this sounds kind of wild. This is not disrespecting the Yankees, but I'm a little more nervous of Toronto than I am the Yankees. And I just feel like Vlad and like I said, Bichette and those guys. I just feel like they can explode a little bit more. Um, the Yankees. I will say this about the Yankees, and this is the only flattering comment I'm going to give them on this show, and maybe even the rest of this year. Um, it almost seems like they're due. And the reason why I say that, 2017 they had a heartbreak. Really, the last 4 or 5 years they've had heartbreak in Yankee minds. They've lost every way imaginable. It seems like this year they're putting it all together and say, you know what, we're running away with this. This was like early 2000s Yankees for sure, but hopefully that's not the case.
I feel like
Hopefully they can have the, I would love for them to have this regular season and then we come in there and beat them in 5.
someone,
that would be beautiful.
someone on that team hits the ball 470 feet almost every single night. I get another update on my phone like this guy hits the. It's
ridiculous.
Their hitting is absurd. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like once again, you should in that park though. You should and playing in that park.
Yeah.
81 games a year. You should. Like that. There's no. And like I said, we actually need to go to a Sox game down there. Like I know you're out there, and we need to go down there to say that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've never been to the stadium. I heard it's amazing.
No, me either. But I know it's right off 161st in the Bronx. So we go get us a chopped cheese and then go up there and say,
hell yeah,
go say what up. You know what I'm saying? That'd be awesome. So
small little rant before we go. I hate Tony Maserati on those goddamn Red Sox games. I hate it. I like listening to him on the radio, but baseball is already really slow. You know what I mean? It's tough to sit there and watch an entire 9-inning game back to end. I can't hear that guy's voice at the same goddamn time. I can't do it. I love him to death. Can't he's
you know why he's
get him off the I can't. I like the Eck is good enough for me, man. I don't need Maz.
Oh,
I don't need.
Lamar's really good too.
I don't need Maz. I do not need Maz on there.
No, but I think what it is with Maz, because he can't be shock jocked on the Red Sox broadcast. He has to actually speak the game, talk the game.
Yeah.
That's where he's getting affected. On the other hand, Millar is just being him. Accuracy is fucking awesome. Like
he's the best color guy I've ever heard in Mo.
Yeah, so and to me, and that might be in sports. I mean, Stacey King in Chicago was pretty good.
Besides Jerry Remy.
Yeah, Remy was awesome. But I speaking of that, it pains me.
The Don.
That accuracy in Orsillo. Oh, that would have been gold. It'd have been gold to have them still here. Once again, Obi's kind of growing me a little bit. But yeah, I'm with you. Tony Maserati.
He doesn't belong there. He doesn't belong.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. And once again, it's because he cannot be. It was like, oh yeah, man, you suck. Like he can't feed into that on there.
He can't say horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I blow.
He's horrible.
Yeah. You can't do that. So
I don't need that in the bottom of the 5th on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I don't need it.
Yeah, but love what Euclid has done. Love what like I said, Millar's been awesome. Oh, we got the 7. I mean, we didn't talk about it. Listen, great to see Manny there last night too. Manny getting inducted to the Red Sox Hall of Fame. For my money, Manny Ramirez is the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Once again, I may be biased. I saw him for 8 years, but I mean, this dude, and I know some people may say pull holes, there's some others that you may put in there, but just for my money, Manny Ramirez is the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen.
It's a fact.
There wasn't much he couldn't do.
He was so good that he would act a fool on pitches on fucking purpose. He would look like he didn't know what was coming, or like couldn't hit a pitch on purpose, so the pitcher would fucking throw it again, and he could hit it 450 feet.
Well,
Like that's a different level of hitter. You know what I mean? Like that's a different level.
That's the story that Malone told last night. We'll wrap on this. So, they were in Toronto, and rest in peace to the great Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay threw like 3 fastballs in a row. Manny doesn't even swing. Just lets him, he throws it, whatever, strikes out. Comes back the next time. Roy Halladay had one of the best breaking balls ever. No matter what, ever. He was ridiculous. He throws a hanging curve. Manny loses it 470 feet later in the sky. This is in the Sky Dome, upper deck. And then, remember the old. Oh, I know this. That's not the same arena, but to hit to hit that high in the Sky Dome or whatever. Well, I'm saying I'm old now. Roger said whatever it's called now. It's Sky Dome Toronto. That's what we grew up in. The Sky Dome. But yeah, it was Sky Dome forever. But it was ridiculous that he could launch balls like that. It was just crazy. His 0-4 run in the postseason was phenomenal. The game winner against the Angels in game 2, when he hits that bomb into the night of Scott Shields. So it was just, he just did everything. Then he goes
five,
to LA.
the high five. Remember the high five?
Oh yeah, hit Baltimore. Yeah,
the best.
Yeah, so there was so many moments where like he was being Manny, and I will put Ramirez and Ortiz against any duo ever. Like
Agreed.
what them guys did for that 5-6 year stretch, is really unrivaled by many, and it made me grateful that we did not get Alex Rodriguez. Very grateful. Once again, we're a phenomenal player, but it would not have been what Ortiz and Ramirez was. And like I said, Millar said yesterday, he was like, he gave many tips to David Ortiz. He was like, he was a different guy in Minnesota. He became Big Papi once he got to Boston. So I said, we're thankful for that, because obviously it's been Big Papi's town ever since. So we'll close on that, because we ranted, we raved, but I said, hey, Red Sox, they're 6 games over 500. Hopefully they end up winning tonight. They go 7 games over 500, but we're now fully locked in on the Red Sox until we get to the Patriots. So, hopefully this is a fun summer for the Red Sox and SS fans. So for the real BK Bob Kelly, I'm Hollywood Ray Sean Buchanan, and we will see you next time. Peace.